Today is April 6, 2019, and today we're going to have a look at a 25-year-old car that I bought 19 years ago. And there it is, stored right behind me in my carport. There is really nothing special about this car. It's a 1994 Nissan Sentra. I bought it used in 1999, and it really has no value at all in today's market. If I were to go to sell it in any condition, I would get maybe $700 or $800 for it at the most. But to me, this old 94 Nissan Sentra is pretty special because I'm only the second owner of this car. So I bought this from the original owners in 1999. It had 40,000 miles on it. And one of the things that makes this so special to me is it doesn't even have 100,000 on it. We'll get inside here in a bit and have a look at the odometer. I think it's at 98,000 if I remember right. This thing is in very, very good condition. It has been parked undercover basically its whole life, certainly the whole time that I've had it. I bought it from an old retired couple here in town that drove this thing during the winter, and then, during the summer when they were here, and then during the winter they were vacationing in Arizona, I believe, and this would sit in the carport or in the garage of their house here. So that's why in the 6 years they had it, they only put 40,000 miles on it. Since then, I've gotten it up to almost 100,000, but not quite yet. As you can see, it's pretty dusty. It's not really dirty. It was washed before I parked it in here, but it's very dusty. It has sat for probably an entire month. I haven't even driven it in a month, so it needs to be started up and driven. I try to drive it every couple of weeks. Just to kind of keep the oil circulated and, fuel going through the fuel pump and all the rest. But I haven't really done that for a while because this car's got some problems that really need to be addressed very, very soon. And that is the clutch is just about completely worn out on it. It's not slipping, but the clutch pedal is releasing very high, and that's how you can tell that your clutch is very worn out. In other words, you don't hardly have any clutch pedal at all, and that's where I'm at. So I think it's going to start slipping pretty soon. For the last couple of months, actually probably 6 months, that I noticed that the pedal was lifting high, releasing high. I've just been really careful with it, driving it very, very gingerly. I haven't driven it anywhere except going to work occasionally and to the store and things like that, keeping it off of hills and everything, because once the clutch starts to slip, then you're done. You just don't have any more time left, and you need to put a new clutch in it, and it's going to be very expensive to do that. That's not something I can do on my own. So I paid $5,000 for this car in 1999. It's just the old plain Jane Nissan Sentra. Doesn't have any kind of extras at all. And it's pretty dirty, isn't it? It needs a bath. I like the front end on this car. I think it looks pretty cool. And as far as I know, this is the only year that they made this actual body style. They kind of changed from year to year. So the original trunk spring broke. That's part of it right there, so I use that to prop it open. I don't know if I can get a new trunk spring for it, but I just kind of use it like this for now. Nice big spacious trunk, and the original donut spare tire is still in there. It'll lose its air, of course, but I have used it over a period of a couple of times over the years. You got to pump it up, but it'll eventually lose its air. And there's the actual mileage, 98,471 miles. Yeah, we're going to be turning over 100,000 here maybe in a couple of years. So one of my biggest complaints would be, you sit kind of low in this. It's a little hard to get in and out of. I'm a little bit on the overweight side, so I have a little trouble getting in and out. The carpet's really good. Got floor mats in there to protect it. Unfortunately, the driver's seat is obviously wearing out and is a little broke down, so I keep a pillow in there. But there's not much room in this interior, but it works okay for me. And it does have a 5-speed transmission. So unfortunately, it does leak a little bit of oil over here. You kind of see it kind of gets thrown around by the belt. Somewhere up on the top it's leaking. I don't know. It's never leaked so much that I felt that it had to be repaired immediately. I keep my battery disconnected when I don't drive it, as you can see. The engine runs great. It did get a new water pump 5 or 6 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. The radiator system is still exactly the same. That's all original. I have replaced some of those fuel injectors back there. Maybe 2 or 3 of them. I don't remember. I'd have to look at my records. This should have a 1200 engine in it, and I believe it's the smallest engine that Nissan actually made for the Sentras. So near as I can tell, to put a new clutch in this, they're going to have to pull the motor out, so it's going to be pretty expensive. We'll probably have them fix that oil leak at that same time. We'll see. Doing the clutch is really going to be the big thing here. It's probably going to cost over $1,000 just to have a new clutch put in it, which, you know, costs more than the whole car's worth. But it's a good car. 59 years old, this car is going to last me forever easily. The thing that's wrong with this car and really needs to be addressed pretty soon is the driver's side door hinge on the bottom is wearing out. Near as I can tell, it's not the pin, but it's the actual hinge. Those hinges bolt on there, but I have had trouble finding any of them. I've called wrecking yards. Even the dealership doesn't seem to be able to get those, so I don't know what's going to happen. I'll show you the problem that I'm having with it. How loose my door has become. You can see there's quite a bit of play in it there. And since it is the hinge and not the pin, it could last for years, but it's something that should be replaced because it's only going to get worse. The tires on my old Nissan look pretty good. You got some pretty good traction left on them, but unfortunately they're really not good anymore because I bought them in 2007, so that would make them approximately going on 13 years old, and anything over 10 years old is really not safe. So I'm going to need a new set of tires all the way around very soon. And another thing that worries me kind of about this car is trying to get parts for it. Talked about the door hinge and how the last time I checked, I could not find one available anywhere for sale. But what about things like the windows, you know, the driver's window and the back window, the side windows? Can I get those if I need to replace a window in it? I mean, do they still make those things? These cars are becoming more and more rare. You just don't really see them around anymore. Seems like when you do see them, they're just totally hammered. You know, they're just really junkers. And so I don't know. I don't know if having a older car like this that is getting rarer is going to be harder to find parts. That concerns me a lot. Something I forgot to mention earlier when I was inside the car is look at the dash. Look at the dashboard on it. That's all plastic. That's a dash pad. There's not one single crack in that thing anywhere. And that's because it's been out of the sun for most of its life. So that's pretty much it for my 1994 Nissan Sentra. I really love this car and I think it'll last me for the rest of my life. So I'm hoping to never have to get rid of it because I can't get parts for it or something stupid like that. It will last me forever. And I really don't care that this thing's only worth $700 or $800, you know. Putting $1,500 in it to get a new clutch and the door fixed and new tires and all that. I really don't care about spending that money if it's going to be a good, reliable car and last me the rest of my life. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, like and subscribe and comment, especially if you got one of these things at home. Would love to hear about it and see some pictures of it. Alrighty, thanks for watching.